Welcome to ATP Customs. So today we're going over the 2005 Mazda 3 for Tammy's Ripping Kitchen, the Ripper. Trying to figure out where all this coolant's coming from. What was happening, this coolant was coming down along this seam here from somewhere, which made me believe maybe the Heatercore was the issue. And there's the carpet inside's not getting wet. Under the hood, back of the firewall, isn't showing any dampness, no signs of coolant. So, have to run it for a while, and get underneath it and see what we can find. I'm thinking water pump. I haven't been able to find the exact source of the leak, but it looks like it's coming from the water pump. There's just kind of so much coolant pouring out from all over the place, it's hard to tell. I'm guessing that the pulleys and the belt were shooting it towards the back side of the motor, causing it to come out. So I got a new water pump, and I figured I might as well get a new thermostat as well. It comes with the thermostat housing. And of course, we might as well change the oil filter on this thing. Now, I've watched a bunch of videos on Google. It looks like it's a pretty painless job. Maybe take about an hour or so if you know what you're doing. So, we'll get this handled and get this thing on the road. I'll keep on filming this for you. Let you know how it goes. So, I'm just about to put the tensioner back on. Tensioner has 3 bolts, pretty minor. Water pump has 3 bolts. The worst part about doing the water pump is getting the pulley off with these 3 bolts because you don't have any room. And this is your thermostat housing, which has 3 bolts as well, which I believe was the culprit. It wouldn't show any leakage until about 25 minutes into driving, and I found 1 bolt after 175,000 kilometers was only finger tight, and I've never touched this thing. So, got a new thermostat housing instead of just thermostat, and right here, it was getting all gummed up. I'm guessing plastic warps. So, got a new one in, got a new water pump in. For the pulley, I have to say the easiest thing I could come up with was to use a flat file like this to hold the bolts, and then just a ratchet wrench 10 millimeter. And that made life very easily go in properly. This is your thermostat housing right there. Remove that belt. Right where that hose and the little hose go into. Wasn't too bad. Took about hour and a half just messing around with all this little crap, but it's almost together. Just got to put the tensioner back in here, put coolant in it, and this thing is done. Might as well change the oil and filter while I'm at it, and we'll have it running shortly. So the Mazda 3 is done. No leaks. Very happy about that. One thing I did run into is on the tensioner. You can actually install this thing the wrong way with the 3-bolt pattern it has. You can put it in incorrectly, and if you do, your dowels will be on the wrong side, and you may push the dowels in and damage them. Thankfully, everything's good here. Almost had some issues, but it's all good. Everything's fixed. No leaks. Oil's changed. I think we're going to give this thing a really good detail. Polish all the headlights as they continue to fade all the time on this thing, so we might actually sand them and clear them instead of polishing them. Polish them 3 times and they just don't last. But there you go. Tammy's Ripping Kitchen's little Mazda 3 is done. Just a detail, and it'll be leaving the shop, ready to hit the road again. So this week's business feature is Tammy's Ripping Kitchen's 2005 Mazda 3. Had to come in for a little work, water pump and a thermostat housing, and do a little detailing, and we swapped over to the summer wheels. I was calling them Koss wheels. They're called Kloss wheels. Got those from Cal Tire. Those are 17s, running a 225 45 17 on this thing. I love the look of this car with those chrome wheels. I got the tailpipe all cleaned up, because that's what happens when vehicles come into my shop. I have to clean them. All vehicles that come in the shop have to get cleaned. So this is the one that's got the MagnaFlow exhaust. Oh, I better pop the hood. Show you my $80 eBay intake. There you go. 80 bucks for that thing. That was 10 years ago, and that included shipping. So what I do with this car is every time it comes into the shop, I just give everything under here a little wipe down, a little more, wipe all under the hood. Therefore, we don't get any rust on this thing. And it has just stayed wonderfully clean. Just do it every time the hood's open. Give it everything a little bit of a wipe. Well, we're all fixed and ready to go for a test drive. Make sure there's no leaks. I did not put the plastic skid plate on the bottom yet, just to be safe. You never know if I got to take it off again. So, I'm going for a drive. I don't know if you can hear it on the camera, the little whoosh that the intake sounds make. Yes, just about to break 175,000. So, let's go for a quick spin. Wonderful. Had to pull off the road, just finished cleaning the car, and look at that awesome view. You get that little crackle. Roll the window up so it's a little quieter so I can talk. But yes, when you downshift, you definitely get the crackle from the MagnaFlow. It's fun to drive. It's not loud or drony at all in the cabin, I guess. Just a fun little car to drive. So the test drive went good. Everything feels wonderful. A couple of little issues that these cars seem to have is catalytic converters are plugging up. Sorry, they're not plugged yet on this thing. So this thing will be getting some upgrades. Not sure if we're going to do a turbo on it one day or just a header and the rest of the exhaust system to get rid of the plugged catalytic converters. You can tell starting to get a little cough and hesitation, but was having an issue at one point, and it took a long time to figure out, with batteries dying. Went through 3 batteries in this car and replaced the alternator and replaced the battery and replaced another alternator and couldn't figure out why it kept killing everything, and popped the trunk and found out that the rear light in the trunk had burnt out. And apparently the little light rings that go in your cup holders burn out in these things and cause a draw. That was not the case in this one. They were both burnt out, disconnected them, there was still a draw somewhere, and it turned out to be the passenger door lock. And when you set your alarm, that's when the draw would start on this car. So you could leave the car unlocked and the car would be fine for days. You couldn't explain it. As soon as you hit that alarm and locked the door, the passenger door lock was hanging up and just causing this thing to kill batteries. So, gonna have to solve that little issue. Finally got it figured out anyways. But there you go. Tammysrippinkitchen.ca, not .com like in my first video. Tammy's Rippin' Kitchen on Instagram. Tammy's Rippin' Kitchen on YouTube. That's what you get when you bring your car into my shop. You get your business featured, and if I'm working on it, you get it featured twice. And you get your car cleaned. Or your truck, or whatever it is. So there you go. Thank you for watching, and I hope you subscribe.